What's up, Armada fans? Rob Barrett here today with another fantastic Star Wars Armada battle report here. My buddy Barclay over there let me borrow his ISD pizza pie to play this fantastic game, and you might notice here that I have a few proxies because I'm running 4 Imperial Raiders. So we'll just pretend that that's an Imperial Raider, and that's an Imperial Raider, and that's an Imperial Raider. But we have all the stats, so it's good to go. And I got this nifty little card right here to tell me where to go pew pew at. So for any major discrepancies, we'll just do it my way, I feel like. Right? Once again, joining us again is Rick Noyes in the studio here with some fantastic looking Armada fleets here for the Rebels. Why don't you give us the rundown of your stuff here?
So we've got 4 generic B-Wings, 4 generic X-Wings, a generic YT-1300, generic Hawk 290, a Dodana's Pride with leading shots, a Corvette A, that's Corvette B, that's Corvette A, Jane's Light with turbo laser reroutes, and then finally we have the Independence, which is a MC80 command cruiser.
Ooh.
With General Dodana, so I can choose my crits. Ramus gives me the extra token for all my commands, boosted comms for this horde of starfighters, and then engineering teams, advanced protectors, and X-17 turbo lasers, which should neutralize some of his the effectiveness of his. What's this one? What's that one?
Redirect.
Oh, redirect. Yeah, I feel like that was a problem I had when I played against Home 1 recently as well, is that all the accuracy I wasn't able, I could redirect all day, but I couldn't brace, and that was really annoying. So on my ISD here, I actually took the turbo lasers as well to try to get through that. Some insurance to try to get my accuracy with the sensor team. Admiral Oz, a little speed tech there. He might be as clumsy as he is stupid, however, I feel like when I can go, Star Wars joke.
Amazing.
But I feel like when I'm going at 4, if I can drop down to 2 and get in some rear arcs and be little arc dodgers with my Raiders, I can do some work there. Also, the ISD dropping down to 1 or going up to 3, I feel like could be a boon as well. So that might suit me well here. I feel like the turbo lasers in the Avenger 2 is some super secret tech that I feel like I only get one of those out of a whole fleet, but I think it's definitely worth taking, so they can't spend the exhausted defense tokens from the Overlord Pulse. Now, I don't have Screed in here to try to get me those criticals, but I feel like with all those blues, I might get some criticals, hopefully, but we'll see. I'm playing the odds there, 25%, and I got 4 shots. Well, you know what? That says I get 1. We'll see what happens. And then on the Corvettes, not exactly sure if this is going to work. However, I feel like when I can take a card that lets me auto hit no matter what I roll, that's something I want to take. So I'm going to take that ion batteries because there are no blanks on the blue dice. And then, of course, sensor team to try to give me that accuracy to get rid of those braces as well. And lots of shots in the front and side arc there, and plenty of ability, plenty of yaw right there to get around in some arcs and do some work with the Raiders, I hope. Or I'll just mess up and they'll get broadsided off the board. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. This is definitely
the Raider Rush.
Yeah, it's a Raider Rush. And of course, at 396, I got to play the mission I wanted, which is Fleet Ambush, which explains why these Corvettes are out here. So we'll see how turn 1 goes here shortly. Alright, so here it is, the thrilling end of turn 1. So a little bit of maneuvering here. Rick did some secret tech here with the B-Wings.
So I used Independence, which gives them a speed 4 movement when they activate, but they can't attack, which didn't come into play because none of these guys were here at that time. So they moved into position for the next turn, and then the X-Wings followed up behind them on their squadron phase.
Yep, and I moved up the ISD, kind of tilted a little bit to keep that front arc dialed in on some capital ships there. And of course, the Independence is making trying to cross the T with some broadside action there, and then the Raiders just kind of slinked up.
We did have 1 shot from the Corvette to this Raider.
Oh, that's true.
Took off the front shields of it.
Yep, sure enough. Before that booked out, that definitely happened there. So turn 2 seems to be like there will be more action. Okay, so going into 3, a few casualties here. Bunch of maneuvering on the part of the Independence there and the Corvette Picket. Unfortunately, one Corvette got a little too close to the ISD, got taken out with the side. whole zone there. But as you can see, kind of we knew this was going to happen. Got jumped by all the fighters.
They did a little damage. We've kind of spread her out and damage all over all the Corvettes. So none of them are looking real bad, except this one's a little rough with like 1 health left.
Yeah, he's
no, he's good.
No, 3's taking the pounding.
Yeah.
I don't know which one. Oh, 3 right there in the massa. Yeah, he kind of moved up to try to push some of them away from the ISD and take some shots on himself, like a good little naval frigate. But yeah, the interesting point's gonna come up is if he's going to activate the Independence in order to take some bombing runs and then put himself into a predictable position where, of course, I'm going to shoot the crap out of him with the ISD. I don't know. It's really interesting engagement here coming up to turn 3. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so here's the big conclusion to 3. Lost a bunch of shields to fighters here, but still got a couple where it counts. This little ship's holding on barely. Might not make it another turn depending on what he tries to do with his capital ships. Might have to make a gamble. Is the little fish worth it or the big fish worth it? Got a couple of shots, spread around some damage there on that hull, and whittled down a few more fighters with two squadron attacks for the ISD and 2 from all the little guys too. It's been super helpful here, clearing them out way faster than normal, I feel like. So what are your thoughts here, Rick?
My B-Wings got a little overextended here, so it was really cool with Independence giving them the speed that B-Wings never have, and then I realized that they're too far away to get that speed to move back. So that was a mistake on my part. I liked how the Corvette was like back here. Took some really great shots. It ended up taking down the other Corvette, the Raider, and then just got out of dodge and displaced way over here. The fighters are doing good. The X-Wings are holding their own, putting in some work on the shields on the ISD. So now it's really going to be about, can either of us kill each other in the amount of time within the last 3 turns. We'll see.
All right, so as the formation continues to move towards this side of the board here, seen a lot of cool stuff happening here. So Rick revealed engineering along with his token and got 8 engineering points.
Yep. So engineer squad gave me an extra point, and then the token with Ramus gave me a total of 8 points to spend. So all those shields he killed last turn, I got them all back. And then I put a really clutch crit on the ISD. Since I have Dodonna, I chose disengage fire control, so he couldn't shoot through anything obstructed. And his front arc was sitting right in the middle of this debris pile here, so his front arc just got completely taken out of the game. So all I could do
basically didn't get to fire this turn.
Yeah.
So that was good for him. And then got everything maneuvered in here into position. Of course, he is going to activate that one first.
Well,
yeah, right. And try to slide by some, but we'll see. We'll see if it's enough to get by. Hopefully, we'll get some shots on him. Not that it super matters at this point. Going into turn 6, mistakes were made. Imperial Raider ended up doing the last point of damage to itself and the Imperial Star Destroyer. Very unfortunate. But in the meantime, did some damage to the Corvette and a couple of fighters because
this Raider managed to ram my Corvette to death. So that was pretty cool. Killed a bunch of fighters and snuck into my front arc here, so I probably won't be able to kill that on the last turn.
Yeah, I'm just trying to squeak out as many points as I can. Turns out, at deployment, I probably should have figured out, hey, he's going to be over here and not set up so, like, center-centric, so I could have tried to caught him a bit, but, that all just comes down to playing with the new ships and such. But we'll break it down here in a few after we run these guys around the table. Here it is, the end of 6. Obviously, mistakes were made, did some stuff, but we didn't even really run it out here because lost a couple shields on that. I didn't really roll back because who cares?
I smashed into it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did 1 point of damage. Took out the YT over here. Still got another Raider. Just trying to get as many points as I can. To stay in the hunt. If it was a tournament or something like that, try to get as many points as you can just for that MOV and stuff like that. So that's where we're at.
You had a good maneuver here where you ended up in my front arc, so I couldn't shoot you at the side. So that was
Yeah, do not want to get broadsided by the Moncal, because that will end badly.
Granted, of all the Moncals to get broadside by, this is probably the one you'd like to, because it's the weakest one, but, and I don't have much on the guns for it.
No, more than survivability, but it's a tough cookie, you know. Getting back that 8 engineering, we ran it down.
Yeah.
When the ISD was here.
So he decided to take his shots at the fighters to get MOV, but we ran the numbers as if it had taken these shots instead. So once it was all said and done, he zeroed out all my shields because I got the advanced projectors, and I dumped one of my redirects in order to make that happen. And then he did an additional hull damage, so I was down to 6 hull left and no shields.
So yeah, had I had a couple extra turns of doing that, probably would have been exciting. Been able to do a little bit more, but instead of taking those shots at the Moncal, I decided to try to shoot down some of the fighters and get some points. So that's kind of, and then unfortunately,
because of course my command on turn 6 was another engineering, so I would have got another four shields back or cleared some damage off me. So the odds of him killing it, even with this last raider, were pretty slim to none. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I agree. Setup probably need to work on setup a little bit more, because I knew they were turned sideways. I knew they were going to be going this way, and I still set up center centric, which was my mistake. But that's okay. That's all about learning.
I seem to keep catching Imperial players with that. So when I see Imperial players on the board, well, that's not entirely true, because I was running Nebulons at the last tournament, so they were just trying to play chicken with them. But with this thing, man, if I can kite you at long range while my fighters just do damage at long to medium range, he's gonna survive all day, because he's got the tankiness. He's not gonna do a whole lot of damage back on his own, but that's what the fighters are for. So he's trying to just draw you into his cloud of fighters. And then I overextended my B-Wings in the beginning, so they kind of got stuck out there doing nothing in the last, 3 or so turns.
Well, it kind of made up for it, because I ended up getting in a super bad positioning. That was really annoying.
Dodonna with that disengaged fire control crit was super clutch, man.
Yeah, I had to skip a whole turn of shooting.
Yeah, so
had I got that turn of shooting in, I'm pretty sure I would have elected
here
to shoot this turn, or turn 5 at you.
Yeah, you were there. I think I was here, some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, it was basically like that.
So I hit him with a crit, and with Dodonna, I get to choose my crits. So that disengaged fire control system means he can't shoot through obstructed targets, and pretty much his whole front section, any line of sight he draws is going to be obstructed. So that was clutch. That gave me a whole turn of not being shot at by his worst nasty arc on that ISD.
Yeah, that would have done work there, definitely, without a doubt. But it happens. It's whatever. We learned from this game. Still learning how to play with the big ships and the little ships all together. So hopefully Wave 2 will be out here soon, and we'll be able to snag them up, have some fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for the game, Rick.
Yeah, thank you.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. TheLongWar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.